Hey everyone, it's once again excellent looking Manu here, with shorter hair now. This podcast episode, this one went off the rails. So we're breaking it up into two because we were going to talk about history of Norcal and stuff, and then it kind of ended up just kind of becoming talking to Berkeley Cube Club. So I'm going to turn it into episode 1, episode 2. Halfway through episode 1, maybe not halfway, I don't know exactly how far. I haven't actually started editing it yet. You'll see that, or you'll hear rather, the audio is going to get really, really funky, especially for me and Chai. This is because when Carrie was recording, when he took the headphones out, it caused a lot of like background noise, and then there's the delay, and I literally cannot fix it. Because then Carrie is going to be out of sync, it just becomes a mess. So that's why that audio is going to be kind of messed up. Sorry. For a podcast, we should probably have better audio setups, but whatever. It's just this week. I promise it'll get better. Well, for you guys, not next week, but the week after. But anyway, enjoy this absolutely crazy episode, part 1.
Hello, Overinspected viewers. Today we have a very regional, location-based episode because this time we're thinking about talking about the Berkeley Cube Club. Now, I am Carrie, and I'm here with the two other co-hosts. We got Manu and
Hello.
Michael Chai.
Sup, brodies?
Oh my.
Yep, and
Chad's pulling all the stops out today.
Everyone's my brother.
yeah,
Yo,
we're
I
all
can
brothers in
get
this
behind
cubing world. Brothers and sisters, we all cube together.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, but what I wanted to talk about is like, Manu, you were actually in the Berkeley Cube Club, so I think you actually have more experience with this than I do.
I was in Berkeley Cube Club from my prime college years. The prime years of actually, they were definitely not the prime years of my life now that I think about it. I think those were some of the most degenerate times I've ever been.
Wait,
a part
pause. Before you delve into details, rate Berkeley Cube Club on a scale of 0 to 10, your experience.
5 million! Berkeley Cube Club is awesome.
That was lame. I was expecting like a light 3.
Oh. Actually, yeah. Let me revise.
It was for the comedic timing.
1. I'll give it a 1.
Now the joke missed. It's okay. No
whatever.
worries.
Well, in any case, yes. So I was part of Berkeley Cube Club between 20. I guess it was 2014. Wait, no. What am I saying? I was in high school then. 2017 through 2020. Because here's a funny story. All right, we're digging back to the real origin stories for this one. So when I first started cubing, I was in middle school, 2013. Then I stopped cubing for about 3 years because my parents wanted me to focus on high school and stuff. But once I graduated in 2016, I went to Berkeley, and I knew that Berkeley had like some sort of like cube club, cube thing going on, right? So what happened was the very first class I had, it was a physics class. So I'm sitting, and I'm there like pretty early. Like the class starts at 9:30, and by 9:30 in Berkeley, everything starts 10 minutes later. So that means it actually starts at 9:40. It's called Berkeley time. It's a real thing. You can look this up.
Yeah.
So I'm there 9:30 on the dot, right? And no one else is there. There's one other guy there, but otherwise there's no one else there. So he's sitting in the center of the lecture hall, and then I go and sit, like a couple rows behind him, right? And we're just waiting there, and we're like, what's going on, right? So what I end up doing is I end up pulling a cube out, and I'm just cubing, and he hears like the cubing that's going on, and he's like, "Oh, are you a cuber?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm a cuber, which is amazingly fortuitous, right? This random guy who's sitting in my physics lecture, who I don't know him at all. This is the first class that we're actually having. Also, it just happens to be a cuber. So we're sitting there, and I was like, "What do you average?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, another cuber? I'm the hot stuff here." I'm like, "I average 22. What do you average?" I'm fully expecting him to say like a minute, right? Then you know what he says back to me? He's like, "Oh, that's not bad. I average 12 seconds." I was like,
like a big shot.
I was like, I'm way out of my league here. I'm like, I was like, all right, never mind. Like this guy is legit. Then he asked me, do you know about the Cube decal? So for those who don't know, at Berkeley, there are these student-run classes that you can teach. We call them decals. And Berkeley Cube Club has been running this decal called, the Rubik's Cube decal for a very, very long time. It actually is, I believe, the second longest running decal at Berkeley. Like, that's been done continuously. Every single semester, it's been done for a very, very, very long time. So anyway, so he was asking me about the Berkeley Cube Club decal. And I didn't know about it. So I was like, I didn't know. Like, what is it? He's like, it's like a class that you can... It's a class that you can take to learn how to solve Rubik's Cube. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I should... Like, I didn't think about it, but I totally registered for that class. What ends up happening is I completely forget to register. And I'm just doing my normal freshman year stuff. That guy ends up becoming my friend. His name is Ryan. Not Ryan Ju. He's Ryan Lee.
I feel like I know Ryan Lee.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask who it was, because like if there's like sub 12 back even then like they're probably someone we know.
Yeah. So that was Ryan Lee. And I think over the years he cubed less and less, but he's a very, very smart guy. Now he's doing PhD at Princeton, so he's a big guy.
Wow, big shot.
Moving up the academic ladder.
I was gonna say, like, I know Ryan Lee, but if I think about it, there's probably been at least 3 Ryan Lees in the Berkeley Cube Club.
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe. I feel like there's at least maybe 2. No, I know. No, there is a Ryan Lee that I know.
Ryan Lees, but
like he was friends with what's his name? The guy that's in Texas now, Eric. Are they friends? I don't remember.
I mean,
I'm trying to remember.
So Eric and I are also friends. Eric from Berkeley Cube Club, but anyway. There's Ryan Lee, right? So Ryan Lee and I, we're like friends, at least to some degree, right? Or at least collaborators on homework and stuff. At the end of the semester, he asks me, do you want to go to the Cube Club banquet? Because he doesn't really know anyone else in Cube Club, but he like heard about Cube Club, and he heard that there was a banquet that was going on. And by the way, the Cube Club banquet is something that happens at the end of every semester to celebrate, the things that the Cube Club has accomplished in the last semester. And it's also just it's like a semi-formal event for the Cube Club to actually like interact and just have fun with everyone there. So it's cool. So he invites me to this banquet. I go. I don't know why I went, because I didn't really know. I didn't know anyone else, but I just decided to go. And I show up there. We had dinner at Angeline's. If you remember Angeline's in Berkeley.
Is that the place with the butter chicken?
Maybe it's like the Louisiana kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
I know which place you're talking about.
Yeah, it's on. I think it's on Shattuck, or it used to be on Shattuck at least. I don't know if it's still there, but anyway.
Right.
So we're sitting at Angeline's. Everyone else is like Cube Club, right? It's like the actual Cube Club, and I'm sitting there. I'm just kind of talking to Ryan. I think I was sitting across the table from Ryan Ju, which is kind of funny. And
another cubing Ryan.
And the other thing, I forgot to. Oh my goodness, I have so many stories, man. When I was sitting, so I'm sitting there. I'm looking at the menu, right? And I'm like, what should I order? Because I didn't know what I was gonna order. I ended up, because I'm vegetarian. I don't know if I ever mentioned that on the podcast, but so I wasn't sure what I was going to order, and so I asked them what is something vegetarian? And Ryan Ju across the table, he's like, I didn't know you were vegetarian. If you were gonna come to the banquet, you should have told me, and then we could have arranged something. And I was like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So that was
your first interaction with Ryan.
Yeah, and it was me messing up and not telling him I was gonna go to the banquet. So
that's interesting. I have a question for you guys. So I don't know if the listeners in the podcast, if you guys don't know who Ryan Lee is, I feel like you probably have a better shot at knowing who Ryan Ju is.
Yeah.
But do you guys remember or not, or obviously you remember your first interaction with Ryan, but
yeah, what was your guys' first interactions with Ryan?
My first interaction. Carrie, go ahead, Cord. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Okay, I don't remember what comp it was, but I remember like it was just at a competition, and like I showed up. You know, it was really early in the morning because a lot of comps start at like 8:30 or 9, and like he was wearing a cape and he had a pool noodle and he was like shaking it around and like shouting at people. I just remember being really scared of him at the time. I mean, like after that, you know, once I got to know Ryan better, like I saw more sides of him. But at the beginning, I saw that, you know, like that side of Ryan, and I think it showed me that the cubing world has lots of different what's the word, diverse set of people. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, like my first interaction with Ryan was probably like together with my first interactions I had with God, Zod the God.
Zod the God.
I was confused. I was like, what is going on?
Ryan converted you.
Yeah, we were all talking at the same time, but I thought, I don't know if I've ever told him this, but the dude was kind of like psycho. Or he kind of is a little psycho. Like, I think, I don't know. It's just like,
dude,
I mean, come on.
You know,
listen
Ryan listens to these. You know, he listens to these episodes.
Right? I know. So, like, Carrie, think about how you just explained your first interaction with Ryan. And think about what the description that I put in. I think the 2 and 2, like, you can put 2 and 2 together, right? No, but he is like, to me, there's like, man, he has a way of thinking, and he's like borderline insane, like just the way that he operates. It's really funny, and like his humor is super dry.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's like,
I do like Ryan's humor. Ryan's humor
like,
is quite funny.
You don't even know he's joking, and like I like legitimately can't tell. And oh man. And I would work with Ryan a lot as an organizer. Yeah.
But I feel like the other thing to note is that like he's been in the cubing community so long that sometimes I feel like you gotta trust his like, I guess, what do you call it? Wisdom.
Yes, his years of experience, most certainly.
Years of experience.
Well, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So like this whole episode was about the Berkeley Cube Club, but there are some like. Yeah, there are some like prominent people that are like involved in that, and I think the first name that for me that comes up is definitely Ryan. I remember the big thing with Berkeley Cube Club was like in like 2015, 2016, the competitions that were happening. Apparently, the competitions were the big terrible. Issue with them. They were really disorganized, and they really fell behind schedule quite often. Sometimes like an hour or so, and this is like 8 years ago, right? So basically, like, long story short, what Ryan did was like he had enough of the BS for lack of a better term, and like he broke down competitions to like a science. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes when I think about what he says, I'm like, you're speaking in some sort of like weird like code.
It's parcel time, dude.
Yeah, like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, his units of measurement is, like, human bodies. And it's just, like, it makes no sense. Bodies. Like, yeah, if you have this many little kids showing up and then you have that many parents showing up, you get this competition with this performance. And I'm just like, oh, God. And, like, dude,
he just knows, like, what, like, he knows how to run a competition efficiently. And it's incredible. Because I remember I went to one comp in fall 2016. Oh, no, sorry. It was Berkeley Summer 2016. And that was a very poorly run competition. I feel like this was pretty classic for cube comps at the time, to be like an hour or two behind. Just always. Just anyway, you know. And then I remember the first competition that I organized with Ryan. And that one we had down to a science. We were no more than like 10 minutes behind at any given point. You know, no matter what happened, which I thought was amazing.
And like, yeah, that's like a standard that I think even people now to this day are like really happy with, like just no more than 10 minutes behind, like just staying within schedule. If you can stay on top of schedule, that's always good. Mm-hmm. But we always like where he was always on the mindset of pushing the competition efficiency to its limit.
Yeah.
Because you would pack more rounds. you would pack more events. I think events were prioritized over rounds at the time.
Yep.
Now it's a little bit different. I think people really like rounds because there's a lot more events that are more popular. Like 4x4, no one gave a crap about round 2s before.
Right.
And now round 2 is like almost, I wouldn't say obligatory, but it would be very, very nice for the 4x4 community, pretty much, because back in the day, 4x4 round 2 was non-existent.
Right, and so I think another thing that's changed from then to now is the frequency of competitions has like really increased, especially at Berkeley. Berkeley used to host 4 competitions every single year, and that was a lot of the focus of the Bay Area and Norcal cubing community was focused around Berkeley, because Berkeley was the consistent venue to hold competitions. There were some venues in South Bay as well. I remember we ran a couple of competitions at Moose Lodge in Sunnyvale, but nothing was quite as consistent as the Berkeley competitions. And so once we figured out, okay, here's how we run a competition, I think that made it easier to hold competitions in other venues as well. Some in San Francisco. I remember then we started running some in San Jose as well. And now, we proliferated. It's all over the place. Sacramento now has competitions. We ran some in Marin last year.
I remember those. Yeah.
Right. It's just all over now.
See, and the thing with Ryan and the knowledge that he built is like when he was really, I don't know if maybe I was in like my own little bubble because I really wasn't aware of like what other regions were up to at the time. I wasn't a delegate at the time. I wasn't talking to anyone like that at the time. But he really, really turned like the culture of competition efficiency upside down for the better. And then he was not a delegate either. He was actually just an organizer. Right. And then he had like Jay Fly, Shelly, like be the delegate for those comps. And then Ryan started doing let me just go to every freaking place in the world and just make competitions better. And it was really interesting. And I think say what you may about the Baltimore 2019 Nats, but it was a very well scheduled competition. Very, very logistically broken down, and that was in large part, I'm sure is probably related to Ryan. Like he's definitely one of those people that tries to spread that influence. Now I will say though, in terms of a competition being as fast and efficient as possible, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. Arguably, not even my cup of tea, because like sometimes my brain, I can't even think that fast. But I love an efficient competition, right? And there's a lot of crowd control that you have to take care of at all times for like really, really efficient comps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ryan is basically embedded in Berkeley Cube Club culture. He like changed the way competitions were run. But he's also embedded in probably WCA staff culture, whether WCA staff agrees or not, because
right.
He definitely changed a lot.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So Ryan was one of the first people I interacted with, and then I remember, just to wrap up my story of this is how I joined Berkeley Cube Club. Once we leave Angeline's, right? I was talking to a couple other people at the time. I think we went to get gelato afterwards across the street, and so the next character we can talk about is Armin. So Armin was the president of Cube Club at the time, and he comes up to me. He's like, hey, we were talking a bunch, and yeah, you seemed like a cool guy, but I have no idea who you are. Like, why are you here? I think that's what he said.
That's what he said to you.
Yeah. I think that's
why are you here,
dude?
Why are you here?
Because you're a freshman.
Because I'm a freshman.
Explain yourself.
So I'm a freshman. I had never gone to a single Cube Club meeting. I forgot to register for the Cube decal. And I'd never seen Armin before. And so I just show up to the banquet. I didn't pay for this dinner either, right? Like Cube Club is paying for this dinner. So it seems like I just showed up and I'm just kind of freeloading, right? So Armin is like, yeah, so what is going on? Who are you? So then I have to explain like, oh yeah, I'm with Ryan. I'm a Cuber. I'm interested in joining Cube Club. But I just didn't get to it at the time. And he was very welcoming and stuff.
Damn.
I've still never met Armin. Like I went to the competition Armin in 2017, not knowing where that word came from.
Right.
So,
yeah. Wait. So what did you think Armin Open 2017 was about when you saw the title?
I don't know. Maybe I thought it was like the name of some like city or neighborhood that like I'd never heard of. Like, you know, oh, like there's like Atherton, and like, oh, that's a city,
Right.
and so maybe Armin is like another city.
Okay, interesting. But it was
it's
held
not.
at Berkeley, so
Oh, it was, yeah.
yeah. So it's okay. So
Well,
So the Armin Open, okay. So there's a little bit of a story about Armin Open. Originally, we wanted Armin Open to be called CC Open, and oh my goodness, it's such a meme. The fact that it was gonna be called CC Open, because okay, I'll introduce some more Berkeley Cube Club characters. You guys remember Riley, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Riley Woo.
Yeah, Riley. Riley, a pretty accomplished cuber in himself. I think until he was the Feet Nats national champion. I think at some point too.
Well, I thought his claim to fame was, like,
2015.
Was it 2015?
Maybe.
I remember because he was the national champion for several years, simply because Feet was not held at Nats at some point until
so I just held
until
on to
Daniel
it.
Rose Levine became the national champion, and then now Feet is no longer an event.
So here's the second to last feat thing. But I thought Riley was more famous for being like the 3-blind NAR holder for like a long time.
Yeah.
Both,
exactly.
I guess.
Yep. He was super good at 3-blind, and he was good at 3x3 too. You have to remember, these are like the dark ages of cube, not the dark ages. This is like the beginning of the renaissance of the revival of cubing. We're talking like 2015, 2016, 2017. So the hardware we had back then does not compare to the hardware we had now. It was not even close. And if you think about it for blind, right? Nowadays, I feel like it's the GTS V1 that, like, you know, is like the acclaimed cube, right, for blind. But back then, that was before the GTS V1 had even come out. So yeah, so you have to imagine all these feats are going on. Feats, that was not an intended pun. With, you know, pretty terrible hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think there was like fewer people in general trying the more insane events like 3-blind. I don't know if this is like a weird pivot, but I was just gonna say it's weird, not weird. It's like a change of perspective talking to the current Berkeley Cube members, and I hear like some people saying like, oh, I'm gonna try to let's do like 1 4-blind attempt a day, and like let's all report to each other how it went.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
That's man.
Dude, the
Yeah, and
new
like some of
guys
them are
insane.
freshmen. Like some people are learning 4 or 5-blind as freshmen, which I mean, like, I guess it's not that surprising because like a lot of cubers are like even like way younger. But I think just the fact that the Cube Club is able to push people to try these like really outlandish challenges, you know, some of them you wouldn't try on your own unless you had that community being like, we're gonna meet every week and we're gonna report on how well we did.
Right. Yeah. And Cube Club is a really good conduit for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, to finish the thing
Yeah.
about CC Open, Riley and this other guy. I don't know if you guys remember Nick Danishvari.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wait.
Nick was a crazy character. He was so funny. He was amazingly funny. There's another story about Nick that I'm not going to tell because it would take far too long. But it's an absolutely hilarious story. But okay, so Nick and Riley, they had gone to this competition in Oregon, and they drove there. So for reference, that takes about 10 hours driving. So they drove there 10 hours one way.
Oh wait, I have to pause you a minute. There's like 10 people in my room right now.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, is this the whole Berkeley Cube Club?
No, it's not. It's only 4.
Okay, wait, I can unplug this and then. Okay, there's 4 people here. I'm gonna unplug the headphones so you can talk to each other. Hello.
Hello.
Wait,
What is that?
oh, so they can't see you just because like I'm not video calling.
Yeah.
But we have Antonio, Tim, Cindy, and Ben.
Ben.
Hello. We are waving to you, but you can't see us.
I know.
I can
Antonio,
see
Cindy,
you.
Yeah, actually,
Ben,
you
just
know-
can't see us.
Yeah, we can see you.
It's like a one-way mirror.
I could turn on the video for like 30 seconds or something. Okay. Well, I guess to like intro you all really quick, we're just recording a podcast about the like history of the Berkeley Cube Club.
That's
and-
a fun one.
And I think Manu was
Oh,
talking about like what it was like in 2016, 17. Oh yeah?
Harry, while you were talking about this history of the Berkeley Cube Club, you should tell us who founded the Berkeley Cube Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess this is like takes it even further back in time.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this until recently, but Edison Park, who is currently a Twitch streamer who works kind of with the offline TV crew, he founded the Berkeley Cube Club, I think in like 2006 or something. And I met him a few weeks ago. Let me just see if I can pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, crazy.
Do you know what this is?
I did not know that.
Wait, how did you hear about him?
Twitch.
Like,
Oh,
if
Twitch.
you guys, if anyone listening or watching,
You know him from
like,
Twitch.
if they know Edison Park or offline TV, like, so to put the two and two worlds together, that's crazy to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you go to his like Instagram, where he like
You
posts
just,
a lot.
so that surprised you? Yeah.
Well, what surprised me was like I went to like eat lunch with some like YouTube friends, and like he's there and he talks about his Twitch history. I thought that's like all he did, but then like I whip out a cube because that's what I do, and like I started like doing, I guess, like Rue one-handed with like table abuse, and he's like I also speed cube, but like the way you're doing OH is like so more advanced than I used to do it back in the day, because they hadn't even invented table abuse in 2006.
Right. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and-
You know, I pulled up the competition. I pulled up, it's called UC Berkeley Fall Competition 2006. The first Berkeley competition.
Wait, was competition? Was the C in
Do you guys know
competition,
how
like,
many?
decapitalized?
Oh yeah, that's the picture. That's crazy to
Yeah,
me.
I have the
like,
most.
I could not believe it.
My face is so
could not
distorted or
believe
contorted. I do not like my face there. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Pokey. Shout out
That's
to
just me
Pokey.
and
Pokimane.
Wait, is Pokimane like friends with Edison?
I mean,
They're all just
assuming
offline
each other,
TV, so-
given their relationships.
Yeah, so I think just to throw in some other names also as the history of Berkeley Cube Club. I think this is probably news to you guys too, but I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy named Dan. How do you say his last name? It's like Zoan, right? Like DZOAN. Yeah, so he's one of the founding members. I think Jeremy was also one of the founding. We've mentioned him before. Jeremy Fleischman. Let's see, who else was all the way back there? I think Tyson at some point was going to Cube Club meetings, maybe.
The strings from Caltech.
Oh, was Tyson a Caltech student?
Yeah.
Tyson was Caltech.
But I thought he was going to I thought he was like at Berkeley Cube Club for some point in time at least. Maybe.
Well, for example, the competition page, like he was a WCA delegate, but he might have not been to Berkeley Cube Club. But if you guys can guess, do you guys know how many competitors showed up for the 2006 competition?
Crap.
30.
Oh, is this for
You
the
guys
new?
can guess. This is a fun trivia.
Oh no, I don't know this.
Wait, 2006, right?
What was it? 2006?
2006.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, we're
How
being
many competitors
quizzed.
showed up?
Can you let us know what the venue is or not?
Room 105 Northgate.
I
Oh,
hate
dude.
that room.
Oh, you know the exact room.
I have my solid mechanics class in there.
So you can tell how many people fit inside.
35.
35.
That's
I will
right.
guess.
Okay, Ben gets
28.
35.
That building is so
Anto gets 28.
gross.
Cindy guesses 12. 12. Well,
Not bad.
yeah, not get. Well,
20, 28,
not bad.
35, and 12.
So,
What about you?
Manu, what do you think?
I was just 30.
Okay.
So 60 competitors showed up.
Whoa, wait.
60.
The lecture hall fits that many, but like, why would that many people
Wait.
rotate?
So like everyone gets too low.
60.
That's insane.
60 and two.
That's insane.
So like they,
Wow,
pro-
2006.
they probably had to like have.
That's-
They probably had to have
So,
like half the group wait outside.
Some other names that showed up in this competition. Obviously, Edison Park was there. The names that you guys said. Lucas Guerin, right? He's still there. Another name, Lars Petrus,
Oh my god.
right?
Oh, creator.
One,
of
and then
Petrus.
one more. Fun fact. He's a cool lawyer, apparently.
Vincent
Shu.
Oh,
Yeah,
Vincent Shu.
Vincent Shu. Spelled S-H-E-U.
The guy from the
Did we ever
Vincent
talk
Shu
about the
Award.
Vincent
I
Shu
know, yeah.
Award on this podcast?
No.
I
I'm
think-
fairly sure.
Yeah, you
it
should
hasn't
explain
been
it.
mentioned.
Yeah, you guys should explain it right now.
Okay, so from a period of time, I forgot when, because I wasn't in the U.S. back then, but Vincent Shu, he came he made 3x3 finals for quite a few comps, and then he just came last in like 3 or 4 in a row. So at that point, it was just called the Vincent Shu Award, and that was basically for the person that came last in finals. And it's a tradition that has run like till today. So even like at comps in Norcal, like in 2023, we still give out the Vincent Shu Award, and it's a great fun time. I think it's the best award to get. Like if you get the Vincent Shu Award, you won the comp. You know, like you can maybe win the win the comp on the WCA page, but getting the Vincent Shu Award is the like crown jewel.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked the WCA?
Make it official.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like most people, like if they're not Cubers in the US, they might not know who he is.
But like if you put it as a joke, like in the awards category.
I don't think it'd be an option, at least with the current stats, but still.
Someone can run this on using the SQL database.
Well,
I mean, that's what I really like about, I guess we would say like Bay Area or like Berkeley, but in a larger scope of things, it's like NorCal culture. Just these like little things kind of carrying over, like legacy type things.
yeah, like
Dude,
a lot of names
The
are just
Vincent
like
Shu
floating
Award
around.
should not be existing right now.
Right now, does he know it's still going on?
Yes.
He
He
must.
does.
He must. Yeah.
So like a few of us in Cube Club, we went to Tyson's restaurant and like had dinner there. A few people were there, like Lars, Petrus, Vincent Shu was there namely. And I think, yeah, we've still, at the start, I sort of mentioned that, yeah, the Vincent Shu Award's still a thing. So this was very recently. I think it was the end of 2022. So he definitely knows it's still going on. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that he was running a restaurant now.
Tyson.
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson is.
Yeah.
Dude, his restaurant is lit. it's lit.
Well, all you podcast listeners should go eat at his restaurant as soon as this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, meet up. Ooh.
Oh, I don't know about a meetup, but
Yeah, no. I guess.
Anyway.
Yeah, I guess
sorry,
like
you
yeah,
wanna say
tying it back to like the Berkeley Cube Club, it just shows like how the history of cubing. It feels like Berkeley has been more influential than like the average city in terms of.
yeah. So I will say this. So the oldest cube club, I believe, is probably Caltech, and then I think the next oldest is Stanford, and then after that was Berkeley. But if you notice something about those, Caltech and Stanford cube clubs no longer exist. They are basically entirely defunct. So that makes Berkeley Cube Club the longest running cube club in the world, like the longest consistently running cube club in the world, which is I think an incredible feat and very, very cool history to be part of.
Wait, do you know what that means, Manu?
Oh no, this is gonna be a D's Nuts joke or something.
No, that means that we're better than UCLA.
Yes! Yes!
Oh my god.
Easy!
We might have some UCLA listeners, guys.
Easy.
We have to be nice to everyone.
I don't know if this still exists, but I think there used to be a site called BerkeleyRejects.com, and it would redirect to the UCLA admissions page.
Oh no.
Berkeley Rejects?
I mean,
Berkeley
there's
Rejects.
the other rejects
There's the other
websites,
rejects.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I know about the other one, but I don't like to talk about it because like yeah.
It's just a joke that I think Berkeley played on UCLA. So
Yeah, because like anyone can
God.
buy the domain.
So I think Cube Club has a very interesting history. I'm just telling you some of the things that I went through when I was in Cube Club. But I thought it was a ton of fun, and I think the best part of Cube Club for me was just like meeting a lot of new people, because a lot of the people who I met through Cube Club are still some of my like very, very good friends to this day. So I guess that is my message to the new Cube Club people, that you guys should rejoice and have fun in Cube Club while you can, before I guess the sands of time drift us all apart.
No, I 100% agree. I think the beauty in Berkeley that stands out even beyond like NorCal and the Bay Area is how consistently run it was. So you could basically book it for 4 times a year. Now,
about that.
in it by itself, right? Like, okay, so you have a competition 4 times a year, you have 4 times to get like results. But when it's so consistent like that, you basically have like dates for like guaranteed meetups with a lot of the people that you know, and like that's how like you build those relationships, stuff like that, and like you just have an excuse to hang out. And I think that part of it is like really beautiful. And like, you know, when I first started going to competitions, it was at Berkeley. Just by happenstance I learned about Berkeley, but I just knew that the next Berkeley one was coming up, like, and it was only a matter of time. And then slowly but surely it's just like part of everyday like routine. And now there's like a billion Berkeley competitions. Thank you, Anto.
Whoops.
Yeah. Wait, how many
say,
are happening this semester?
I was gonna say, like, there's a carrying the torch from like the Edison, the Tyson, the Ryan, the Armin, and then there's like Anto right now, pretty much.
And,
But we should probably reserve a lot of that for our super.
Whoa! Don't leak, dude. Don't leak.
Okay.
Wait.
Don't. We're not leaking. We're not. Okay. Not leaking. No leaking. No.
Yeah, lips are sealed.
We
No
totally
leaks
didn't
at
leak
all.
anything important there.
Nope. Nothing important was leaked.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing was
Hey,
said.
Anto,
these are our guest stars right now. Like, focus here, not in the future. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh God.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Like with the Berkeley Cube Club, we've been more consistent in general, and I think the culture is sort of carried over a little bit to Bay Area competitions. And I like that we're starting to see recurring venues. So I think, you know, Andrew P. Hill is a great one, right? Yeah.
Poly Ballroom is a
Andrew P.
recurring venue.
Huh?
Poly Ballroom is a very recurring venue.
Dude, Poly Ballroom just happens every month at this point, which is
yeah. No, I feel like
But
in 2016 I was in the Poly Ballroom, and in 2023 I'll be in the Poly Ballroom. And when I'm old and like 80 years old,
I
I'll
feel
still
like
be in the
let's-
Poly Ballroom.
let's just get married in the Poly Ballroom.
Oh my God.
Like,
I mean, I know like Christopher
actually,
Olsen
yeah,
had
no,
like
for sure.
a
Actually, we
cubic
should just
competition
do
at
it.
his wedding.
Can we like do it? Can we reserve it for a competition and just expense it as a competition, but have a wedding?
Have a secretly be a wedding? Well, I guess we first gotta decide who's getting married. Yeah.
we gotta, guys, we gotta pull through for one of our homies who's down bad. So like,
I know. If you're down bad, like
like we
don't
gotta
have
pull through
someone
for
yet.
one of our homies who needs a wedding venue, and then we'll do a cube competition disguise as.
That would be very interesting, actually. I wonder if someone has done that before. Like, you know, we were talking about crazy competitions a while ago, right? That would be a very crazy competition. A comp that was part of a wedding.
Wait, can we do that? Hey, if Ryan gets married, can we?
oh my god, this is getting very personal. I mean, if he listens to this, if he hears this, he's gonna know that we're thinking about his wedding.
Should we bleep that out, or should we
No,
let Ryan
keep
hear
it in.
I mean,
It's Ryan.
yeah, I know. I guess like judging Ryan's personality, do you think he's cool with it?
Oh man, we gotta edit that out. Cut it.
Well,
Oh,
I guess like Manu, if
Keep
you
it,
edit
keep
it,
it
and
all.
you can make a final call.
Alright, fine. We'll keep it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, keep it YOLO. It's like
Yes.
the worst thing that can happen is like a friendship ends, whatever. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
God.
Well,
Um.
I guess
well,
like,
No, go ahead, Carrie.
you know, I wanted to also talk about like what Berkeley Cube Club is like in 2023, because I think the three of us who are in this call, you know, we talk a lot about like, you know, when we were in college, but like that period has passed. I know, Anto, you said like you thought that Cube Club was like on its way out like a year ago.
Yep.
So
Yes,
I guess if you could talk about that.
And I'll stop you right there, Antonio. Why don't we hear from him and all the other Berkeley Cube Club members in the next episode, since this episode is already like 45 minutes long, or whatever it is. I don't really know exactly. Like I said, I haven't finished editing it yet. Sorry. Anyway, hope you all have a good week, and if you're still listening on the day that this comes out, Basque Live is still going on. Why don't you take a listen? It'll be on the channel, somewhere over here, I think. And if you're a podcast listener, sorry, I guess that made no sense to you. But anyway, check out the YouTube channel for all the goodies, all the podcast episodes, bunch of random stuff. And yeah, have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next week.